Everyone is talking about retiring at 35. But here is what nobody tells you about fire, specifically in the Indian context. The idea sounds exciting, saving enough so that you never have to work again, perhaps retiring to the hills or a quiet beach. And during my research for this video, a lot of content, even from the well reputed content creators, explained how to achieve fire one needs 25 times your annual expenses as the corpus. Today in this video, I'm going to explain why this 25 times the number is an incorrect number and what's the number valid in the Indian context. Firstly, where is this 25x coming from? It comes from the 4% rule of retirement, which I would explain in detail later in the video. Today we are breaking down the Indian specific numbers and the different flavors of fire and whether this path is truly right for you. First, let's make a critical distinction. Financial independence is the engine and it is non-negotiable. Retire early, on the other hand, is the destination and it is entirely optional. You don't have to stop working at 40. Financial independence simply gives you the optionality to choose how you spend your time. Now, there are 5 main ways to approach fire in India. First is the lean fire. This is for the minimalists. You retire as fast as possible by living well below your average expenses. Imagine living in a tier 2 city on maybe 30 to 40,000 a month, relying on public transport and cooking at home. While it requires a smaller corpus, roughly 1.5 to 1.8 crores, it is the riskiest form because there is no room for luxury or market errors. Next is fat fire, the opposite of lean fire. You maintain a luxurious lifestyle, spending perhaps 3 to 5 lakhs a month. This requires a massive portfolio, often between 15 to 20 crores. You have to be really fortunate to think about fat fire in India. Next comes coast fire. This is a psychological milestone. You have saved aggressively early in your life until you hit a coast number. You then stop retirement contributions entirely and let compounding do that work for you, which means you don't have to stop working. Till that time, you earn just enough to cover your expense, meaning you can take a relatively low paying job which is perhaps closer to your home or which gives you a better work-life balance. Barista fire. You haven't really reached the full financial independence number, but you have enough that you can quit your high-stress corporate job. You take a part-time or a low-stress role to cover daily costs while your main investments continue to grow untouched. The difference from coast fire is that in coast fire, you have saved fully for retirement, whereas in the barista fire, you're almost there. You still need to save some small amount for your retirement kitty. Next comes the cash flow fire. In this case, instead of drawing down from a portfolio, you build assets that generate passive income, like rental properties. Your income replaces your salary while your principal remains intact. Before you start the math to calculate the fire number, you must pass 3 self-checks. After listening to these questions, pause for a while and think about these questions. First is the identity question. Who you are without your job title? Can you introduce yourself without mentioning your company? Many people face an identity crisis or feel worthless once the structure of a 9 to 5 is gone. Second check is the reality check. Is your family genuinely on board? Can you handle the 10 to 15 years of extreme lifestyle restraint to reach your goal? Fire is not just a personal choice, it's a household decision. And third is the math check. This is where most people get it wrong because they use the American math in the Indian economy. You have likely heard of the 4% rule, which says if you withdraw 4% of your portfolio annually, it should last 30 years. This came from a US financial planner, William Benjamin, and later from Trinity Study. This is based on the data from 1926 onwards, and this is US data. But you cannot copy paste US financial rules in India. Why? Because firstly, India has much higher structural inflation. Second, our market's behavior and economic soil is entirely different. Our equity markets are much more volatile. So what's the true safe withdrawal rate for India? Recent studies suggest that these numbers are instead much lower. For conservative retirement, it is 2.6%, whereas for aggressive, it is 3.5%, which means 30 times your annual expense. Now let's do the calculation. If your annual expenses are 12 lakhs and you want a balanced safe approach, which is 3% of SWR, you will need 12 lakhs divided by 3%, which comes out to be 4 crores. Remember, in year 1 you withdraw 12 lakhs. In year 2, you don't just take that 3% again. You adjust the previous amount for inflation. So if the inflation is 6%, your year 2 withdrawal becomes 12.72 lakhs. Instead, if you rely on the 4% rule, then the math becomes 12 lakhs divided by 4%, which is 3 crore, which might be insufficient for Indian context. Now, for the math around fire and how is it different from retirement, I referred to the study by Vanguard, which is Fuel for Fire. The classic 4% rule assumes 30-year retirement if you retire at 60 and live to 90. However, if you are retiring at 40, your time horizon stretches to 50 years. Research shows that for a 50-year horizon, the success rate of a fixed withdrawal drops to just 36% from 82% in case of retirement at 50. Your years in retirement are 40 and your success rate is 54%. The longer you are retired, the bigger the challenge of your money running out. But hear me out. We have a few strategies which can help you improve your success with lower retirement corpus as well. How do you increase your probability of success back to 85 or 90%? There are 3 proven strategies. Now, this is all based on research. First is the global diversification. If you are able to diversify globally and reduce the volatility of portfolio, that helps a lot. Second is lowering your cost. If you stick to index funds, which lowers your cost, you can significantly increase your sustainable withdrawal rate. And third is dynamic withdrawal strategies. This is the ultimate flexibility edge. Here, instead of withdrawing a rigid amount every year, which is inflation adjusted, you adjust based on market performance. If the markets are down, you spend less. If the markets are up, you can afford to spend a bit more. This single adjustment makes your portfolio far more durable. So now let's conclude. For 12 lakh expenses at the time of retirement, let's say you're retiring at 60, you need 33x, which is 12 into 33, which is 4 crores. In case you can follow these 3 actions, diversify, keep your cost low and flexible spending, you need 20x. So in that case, what you will need is just about 2.4 crores. If you retire at 40, you need 50x, which comes out to be about 6 crores. Retire at 40, but with flexible spending, you need 33x, which is 4 crores. Ultimately, FIRE shouldn't be about escaping work. It's about gaining the freedom to choose your work. Whether you want to be a barista, a consultant, or a full-time traveler, the math is just a tool to get you there. Do the checks, understand your type, use the Indian multiples that we just discussed, and stay flexible with your spending. What does FIRE mean to you? Is it freedom, security, or just an escape? Let us know in the comments in one short sentence. Finally, the math is important, but your why is everything. Thanks for watching. If you found this data-driven look at Indian FIRE helpful, hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into your financial future.